So, it's really been a while. We had these deep conversations about things that matters, and having this conversation again is bringing back memories and the value given part of everything we do. Right. So right now, um, Sanji, I want you to take over. So there's something that's been on my mind, and today we'll be talking about the importance of meditation because I started experiencing something where after a period of time without meditating, I fall into sort of like a relapse
Uh-huh.
where I get overburdened, overworked, stressed out, right? And whenever I get to meditate, it helps me. But whenever I don't meditate, it messes me up. So the question is, how important is meditation in our everyday life?
Oh, I think it's a way of life. Uh, it's life itself. For example, if you take a blank piece of paper and draw one line, and we separate, no? Say this is my spiritual life or mental side, and maybe this is my day-to-day life. But we drew the line.
Hmm.
But actually, like it's just a line we drew, right? The paper is, but still the paper
Mm,
is the same, no? Same means like it's intact, but we drew a line and we made the
mm,
separation. So likewise, what happens is like
mm,
from small days, it seems we kind of like did the wrong meditation. Whichever it could
mm,
be out of ego, it could be greed, it could be hatred, all these how to say programming, all that things. It could be negative, and some are life skills and these kind of things also. Not everything is
mm,
not negative, but things like
mm,
even things like racism or anything like that. It because you have to keep it up going, no? You have to,
mm,
and it starts building up, and it comes to a place where it kind of like hate, people start hating each other. It could be religious based or ethnic based, or even in good aspects, like we can have proper skill or even studies for
mm,
that matter, like gradually from just writing the alphabet maybe, and then gradually you learn how to write sentences, uh, words, sentences, no, then paragraphs, no, like the essays, and then you can use the language very skillfully. So everything has a kind of build up, and soon as you stop usage, even riding a bicycle, no,
mm,
it takes some time to get to know, and then you do, there are mistakes you do, and then at some point you can just go on free flow, like, no, so you get better and
mm,
better more you do it. So but the thing is like even in good things we do, sometimes ego can creep in. uh,
mm,
Things like envy or things like that also sometimes, or it can quickly flip into a negative. Oh, why did I help those people? I should have not done that. Uh, they didn't even thank me. Uh, but so in proper meditation what happens is we can let go of that negative side, and there is a build up of process that happens, which is very wholesome actually. So in a way, in the world as it is, we are bound to come up with things like ego. Because it's a ego based conceptual society, no? And in concept we have to identify ourselves as I or me, like that, my, no, we, that's how we recognize things, no, identify with. Even we have identity tag or ID card, no. Uh, then
mm,
even a small little pet or animal also, they identify when you talk, say their name over and over and over and over and again, no. But the thing is like their anger or greed or these kind of things don't
mm,
disappear. So in a later part of our life, we feel really feel the direction we had like went on, huh? Was sometimes very tiring, or you feel a lot of stress, anxiety, all these
mm,
things can happen. So then at that point, we think we should kind of like shift uh, to in a direction. There can be only two, no? Either it's a stressful side and it's the opposite, no? If there's darkness, there's light, right? Uh, Within this duality, at some point we feel like choosing. So then we have to build up that process. So that brings up that wholesomeness. Just like what you
Mm.
said, like after some time when you don't practice the wholesome practice, uh, then you feel stressed and these kind of things. So getting caught up in the old patterns maybe. That's why we build it up in a proper way, the opposite energy of it. So
So,
yeah, please.
mm. So here's a thought that I've had about this. It's the fact that the 70% of us did not grow up with this kind of experience or a lifestyle. We grew up as kids not knowing much about meditation, unless probably you grew up in such an environment where it's it's more or less the lifestyle, most especially in places like the Asia and stuff like that. But for those who are not in that space, it's new. It's a bit of an alien thing to us. So making it a part of our life, most especially as we've grown, it becomes a bit difficult, right? To be able to keep up with the the consistency required for it, because it's like adding something new to our lifestyle. And that begs the question, how then can you be consistent? How then do you build the consistency? Because I have seen people. I, for one, I love to be consistent. I love to meditate, right? I love it. I know the importance of meditation. I know the experience I have when I meditate and when I don't meditate. But I'm unable to keep the meditation flow consistent. What do you say about that? How do we maintain the consistency required to succeed in meditation?
Uh-huh. So Simon, just give me a moment. Like when we say like we are not used to these kind of things, we have to just address that thing. For example, in Christianity, there's a, mystical union. In Hinduism, there's samadhi. In Buddhism, also there's samadhi. In Sufi, there's fana. Huh? In Taoism, emptiness realization. So, in many cultures, they have this. Even when we go to church and pray and or any other religious place, when we go and pray, that brings a sense of like how to say sense of calmness to the mind when you recite the same. That is also a way or form of kind of like a meditation. In meditation, as you sit and you bring a positive object and you like recite it or bring it or you focus on that again and again. So likewise, when you see like these affirmations, these kind of things, or from small days, without knowing, we was like how to say subjected to those kind of influences also. Uh, but we didn't know maybe it was meditation or it was not specially like specified as meditation, right? So in a way, like, oh, not only that, like some sound soothing music, being with nature, uh, listening to the rain, listening to the birds, the wind, or maybe a waterfall or like a water flowing. That calms the mind, right? So these are also natural objects that can be used
Mm,
as meditation. So in a way, without knowing, we knew these experiences, so we had those experiences. That's why as children or
mm,
adults, sometimes when you go and sit near the ocean or near a river or near a forest, no, we feel more calm or near in on top of a mountain. Like Simon is on
mm.
top of the world now, right? So he should be very calm. No?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, better the best view, right? Of all.
yeah, true.
Yeah. So coming back to your question, Simon, like please, you all also tell your ideas and all that. That this is open discussion. Uh, so If it's even if it's from the finest steel, and if the craftsman was one of the world's renowned persons, and they made this masterpiece of a tool, say it's a knife or something, and they put like thousand layers upon thousand layers, and made it like with craftsmanships and everything with the best steel possible, no? But if you don't use it, it gets blunt. If you don't sharpen it, it gets blunt, right? Yeah, maybe all the handle and things will rot away. So likewise, when not used properly, anything, even if it's a language, even if it's this language we are all talking, just stay for a few days, or after you get sick, or we don't do these sessions or anything for a few days. Then as soon as you start it, or you start to give a speech or something like that, you feel very rusty, as if
Yeah.
the mechanism is like it didn't have the oil or something, no? So
Yeah.
anything for that matter, like intellectual or any skill or anything, even a language, even how to prepare something, uh, it it goes out of usage, and then it kind of gets like rusted. So uh, the opposite is like the usage. So one good definition for meditation is usage and multiple usage. This is bhavitaya, bahulikataya. Bhavitaya is usage. Bahulikata is multiple usage. So we take a positive. So we just have to like to swim. We can be 100 miles away from the water, and we can write books about it, but that doesn't do, you know. Like you, at some point, you step into the water and you try to swim, right? Or at least have a deep and see, you know. So likewise, if you want to ride a bicycle, you can draw bicycles, you can read about it. At some point, you have to get onto a bicycle and see how it goes, right? That will be a whole different experience. Maybe much way simple than all those books what they said, right? So if we can just start somewhere small, and just keep like 5 minutes, 10 minutes like that, which usually we might use just doing nothing at all, even, no? Or just scrolling on the phone or something like that, which end up with like 1 hour already disappeared, no? And then why not use that time for that? And after about 1 month, what happens? It becomes a habitual pattern. But within that first month, we have to make it consistent. Every day, if we can use that specific, at least morning and evening. One time in the morning, one time in the evening, because we are dealing with 24 hours, right? So this 10 minutes of each session or 15 minutes of each has to count all that. Maybe it's 30, 23.5 hours, right? 23 and a half
Mm.
hours, or maybe decades of our life, right? So, but if we can keep the consistency, what happens is like if this whole place was dark, if you lit a match, it would disappear, the entire darkness, right?
Yeah.
Then with
Yeah.
that same match, if you light a candle, that's more sustainable, right? And with
Mm.
that candle, if you can light like a torch, that is more sustainable. And with that torch, if you can light a bonfire or something, that is more sustainable. It goes hand in hand. Next becomes more powerful. Opposite is also like that. The darkness can become more and more and more. But if you reverse the
Mm.
process, which is the same process actually, the outcome is different.
Mm. Uh, and here's the thought. I always say is that distraction is actually focused in a negative direction. That's how I put it. Because sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm unable to focus. I'm unable. I'm distracted." I say this. Whenever you're distracted, you are actually focusing your attention on something else that is not what you want. So it's actually about directing focus and being conscious about that. And I think one of the things that can greatly help with the focus or the intention and intensity to put meditation as a part of our life is understanding that this thing is important to us. It's needed in our day-to-day life. We need to consistently make it happen, so we can then start building from small to where it becomes a bonfire, right?
Mhm.
But if we don't yet see it as something that I need this, it's important for me, it helps me get better, it helps me do better, right? We'll keep treating it as an option. And anything we treat as an
Mhm.
option, we only go to it when we don't have another option, right? But
Yeah.
when it's a priority, even with many things to do, because I say this, and this is what helps me. If I want to do it and it's important to me, I will do it. There's no excuse, really. I eat every day because it's important to me. I have to live, right? And I work every day because it's important to me. I have to earn. And I go out every day. I communicate with people. It's important to me because I have to build relationship. If I can see meditation as one of eating or going to work or earning and building relationship, I will have to do it every day. So the consistency can be built when you understand how important it is, and until it becomes important to you, there's no need to pay attention to it. And
Mhm.
that brings me to my third question. My third question is, I read a lot of books about meditation, yoga books, Upanishads. I read a lot
Mhm.
of things about self awakening, realization, and stuff like that. I read a lot of books. And one of the and sometimes even in the movies we watch movies where people attain enlightenment. Namaste, right? We attain enlightenment. We become wiser. We They begin to give words of wisdom. They become calm. They they see some light, some sort of enlightenment beyond normal level, right? That brings me to the question. I have been meditating for years. I have not seen the big light. Why? Why is it that the stories that was told or things that were written about people like Vivekananda, Krishna,
Mhm.
and so many of these people, why haven't we experienced that kind of enlightenment that they experience?
Uh, this most simple answer is like if there's a road that leads to the capital of the country, just see whether we walk all the way up to the destination. So every day we can be walking 1 kilometer, coming back. Maybe it's 100 kilometers away. But if we just keep for 100 years, even if we just keep like walking 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, coming back, coming back, coming back, we will reach something, but not the destination or the, if you, for example, enlightenment, right? If it was the destination, so for each person to reach what their goal or destination is, they have to walk the path, which could be concentration, it could be first, it could be relaxation, it could be concentration, it could be insight, it could be enlightenment. But you have to walk that path that nobody can do for you. Yeah. So that we had to see, did we walk the that mileage? That's the only reason. And that path should be a correct path also. If it goes in spirals or if it has detours and all, uh, that doesn't happen, right? So we should have choose a path and know the destination and what we also really want or need for that matter. uh, And then we have to walk the path. And that from step by step, that's why we know from the beginning where we are heading to. It's like we have a clear map. And then we know, okay, pass the first kilometer, the second kilometer, now we are in the third kilometer. We passed already 2 kilometers. Now there's like 7 more kilometers to go. Like that, we know exactly where we are. That's a indication of a proper path. Beforehand, like there's no hidden things. It's all opened up, and you get the details and all, and you know exactly what you're doing, where you stand, how far you came, how far is there's more to your goal or destination.
mm,
So coming back, we should know, like, did we actually walk that amount?
mm.
That's the only reason.
Okay. So I have three questions. I'm gonna ask the three questions as well. The first question is: does the kind of enlightenment we've seen with Krishna, with Vivekananda, with some very top yogis, I can't start mentioning their names now. Does that kind of enlightenment still exist? That kind of enlightenment that helps you transcend mundanities, right? And the everyday struggle. One. Number two, you talked about knowing the path, right? Knowing what it's going to take, knowing the destination, or having an idea of the destination. How do you know what it's going to take to get there? Thirdly, in our everyday world, because I believe when Krishna and the rest of them were here, they didn't have to battle with this guy. They didn't have to battle with a mobile device. They didn't have to battle with a computer. They didn't have to battle with social media and social content every day trying to reprogram your life. So there was enough time to be attuned with nature, to be connected to the life. I like to say the life. But right now, everything is being modernized. Our villages are turning into cities.
Mhm.
The trees are being cut down. In fact, right now we have to start different charity programs or different revolutionary programs. Or don't kill the birds. Don't chase the zebras. Don't kill the elephants.
Mm.
Save our tree. It wasn't. We shouldn't be fighting to save the trees because they've been there, right? But now that's the case. That's where we are. We have to save the trees so we can still be connected to nature. We have more skyscrapers than. So how do you manage such noise, such transformation, or such change, and still attain enlightenment?
Mhm. Brother, let's go one by one. Could you please repeat the first one?
So the first one is: does enlightenment exist? That destination where you transcend the modern world and you're able to get over the rat race, right, in the society. Is that still possible? Does it exist? Can it be attained?
Uh-huh. Okay, say like there's a space, like we have a space here, no? Just imagine. And then we fill it up with fruits. Say it's covered now with fruits. Uh, then we remove all those and fill it with trash. Uh, it's still it seems covered, right? Uh, but then we can remove the trash. So the space is still there, right? Space is still there. Even if we covered it with fruits, even within the fruits also the space is still there. And through the fruits also the space is there, right? Even if you put all the trash possible and try to cover that space, still that. And before we put any of those, also the space was there, right? And after we remove the good or the bad, even uh, the space appears again. So it's just example. The space has always been there. So likewise, enlightenment is always there. It's how we open it up. So anytime if a person puts the effort to that and walks a proper path, it's possible. So anytime it's a thing, not after life, after death or something like that. It's in the here and the now. It's nothing only for the past or people in the past. Even now, people, if they are really interested in that and they can do some dedication towards that, they can achieve. It's always there. It's like a mountain, no? Like if you can, if you have the time for it and if you put the effort, you can climb onto the top, no? But some people might say like,
Mm.
oh, we don't have time, we are so busy, like that. But that mountain top, as we take it as example, it will be there, no? And people who like to explore and put the
Yeah.
time and the effort can always reach the peak.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's always possible. Past, present, future, it's always possible.
Mm.
Okay.
So my second question um, would then be to be able to attain that in the noise of today, in the disconnection from nature that is constantly increasing, people are becoming more roboticized and robotic than they are more human, right? People, many people don't know it yet, but they've been programmed so badly. And sometimes I see myself fall out of line. I have to literally catch myself again, right? But it's the norm right now. A lot of people are really gone out and they're robotic. In such society that is different from that Krishna came in or other yogis came in before us, how do you manage the distraction and still attain enlightenment?
Mhm. So,
How do you manage the
so,
distraction?
so, brother, always it's a deal with the mind. A physicality helps, but it's a thing we have to deal with the mind. So, in those days, also they had their own problems. Maybe it was war, it was famine, maybe sensual
Mm,
desires or something. They had like extravagant, like ceremonies or like rituals or parties, even for that matter. Huh? They talk in ancient times like there were like sensual ceremonies that went for like consistently for 7 days on. At the end of it, people are
mm,
so exhausted, so much. I don't know what went over there, but like really good, really music and all, and I think physical, everything was there. So so each time, like they must have also thought like maybe the people before had better opportunities because they thought maybe they didn't have all this stuff going on there, right? So now in this time we have these mobile devices and all these things. So we think like the people before, maybe a generation before or couple of generations or like decades or like maybe 10 many thousand years ago it was easier. But it depends on each person's mind. Uh, some people may use this as a tool and they can always keep it aside. Some people may be glued to that, just like the people who went to those sensual ceremonies or things like that. And they would go into depth, like to get intoxicated or womanize or do things like that. Yeah, they've lost entire fortunes from that came from generation just
mm,
doing those things. Just like modern day people gamble and all these things. Lah. So the thing is like we should know and make it an option at some point, either knowingly or through wisdom, and just see. And when you're talking about the rat race at some point, so there are meditations also to reflect on like how the reality is. For example, about death even. So more we contemplate on things like that, not that it will turn in a negative aspect, but we will seek something more. Uh, I remember a nice story like I one person had four wives. Uh, and he had the youngest one was very beautiful and very young and like he liked her the most it seems. Uh, and the second one lesser than the first wife, the least, nah? Because she was now elderly and all, nah? Uh, and this person also was quite in a mature age. And at some point, it's like he got to know that he's passing away. So they had this crazy ritual back in the day that when the husband who passed away, the wife also has to go into that tomb or even jump to the fire. Eh, Luckily, those things are no more. And in some cultures, so but just to see, like the husband had gone to the first wife and asked, like, "I'm dying, no? And I treated you the best of all. Would you like to come to me with me?" Because they thought they can end up in the afterlife together. Huh? But they'll be
Mm.
like burned to death. No, not afterlife. No, I don't know where they'll end up. So, no? So, anyways, like she said, she was like arrogant, and no, she said, "No way, no, I'm not moving an inch from here." Then he went to the second wife. He said, "I'm sorry, I could not treat you like the fourth one." Uh, and then the third wife, no, like he said, "I could not treat you like the latest wife, but I still." But she said, "No, no, 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 no. I, I won't. I will maximum. I'll come near the entrance of this house. That's all I can do." And he went to the second wife and said, like, "I know, like I didn't treat you well, and then I treated the other two better, but like I'm dying. Will you come?" No? And she said, like, "I'll maximum. I'll come to your grave or your cremation
Mm.
place. That's all I can do." And then he went to the last wife, the first one who was there from the very beginning, and he asked, like, "I'm really sorry. I treated you the worst. If there was somewhere you wanted to go, if I could, I would send somebody else to go with you. I avoided you and everything, mistreated you, and I'm dying. Will you come with me?" And for his surprise, she said, "Yeah, I'll follow you like a shadow." And he
Mm.
was astonished, no? So these was four examples actually in many cultures and traditions. First wife is like, sorry, the fourth wife, the youngest and the most attractive and all, is like our body. Soon as we die, we won't move an inch from where we are, wherever we are.
Mm.
But this was the one we treated the best. We fed it, we tried to dress it and clean it and do all the things,
Mm.
immediate attention, no? And it was very demanding and some
Very
very,
demanding.
yeah, no? And very arrogant also. Uh, And so, but it won't move an inch. The third wife is like the belongings we have. If, say it's in our premises or within the house, if we just collapse and die, it won't move unless somebody stole them or sold them. It won't move from the door frame, no? To be just there. Uh, Then those are the possessions we really like. We collected as no, and put them in cabinets or showed off or did this that. It won't move an inch from there. And the third wife, sorry, the second wife is like our relatives and friends and siblings and even children and all this. Maximum they can do, they can come to our grave and they cannot move an inch from there because they cannot come with us to the afterlife, right? Uh, so, and the last one is the good deeds we did. That was the reason, like the first wife whom we met, very first, it doesn't seem very appealing. And if you need for some donation or some good deed, if possible, we kind of like slip away and give, like, ask somebody, "Can you go and give this donation for me?"
Mm.
"Oh, I don't have
Mm.
time for this. I don't have time for that. Can you do it for me?" Huh? Or we go to somebody, a religious person or somebody, and ask them to do it for us. Huh? If possible, no? We avoid. But in the last stages, this is the exchange currency that is really comes into. That's why she said, like, "I'll follow you anywhere you go." Huh?
Like your shadow.
Yeah, like a shadow. So the good
Mm.
deeds, especially bad, who wants bad, right? If they will also surely follow. But the good was the thing that brought us here. But we
Mm.
forgot all these things. Huh? So likewise, we give priority. I think it's a good story regarding your question. We give priority to all these things, but it won't move an inch So those days, ancient times, people used to think like we are earning, we have these children, we and our, our spouses and all these things, but nothing will go to the afterlife. So we need something to take to the afterlife. Let's cultivate. So they allocated even one whole day. They started donating, taking voucher. They also could have said, "Oh, we are so busy" or something like that, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
made that time. They made it happen. So they used to stop everything. And that particular day, usually the with the moon, they used to see and select one day of the week, and whole day they used to do like fasting and all these things and spiritual practices according to their belief systems. But still, they would allocate an entire day for that, or at least 12 hours. This was
Mm-hmm.
something they could take to the as per afterlife, uh, or where they wish to go, no? So, so if we really want, we can have these options, and even these things, the tools we are stuck with, uh, we can leave them aside. So that's why the thing called retreat is there. We retreat from these things, or now they call it social media or this device detoxing of those also. We need it, like if we, there's a toxin, we have to put it out, no? That's why our system in the body also tries to throw it from either side out, no? Or as the sweat or tears or some way, or as a voice or actions even. Uh, so likewise, at some point we should see, like, these are not what we came for, like what, this is not what we really need. And we can see that how this it strains us, no? So talking about the rat race also, we need to live and all this, but we must understand there's more to life. Okay.
That was that was a very extensive answer to that particular question because um, I think the story does a good job. You permit me to take that story because I'm going to use it in different
Okay, sure,
contexts.
sure, sure.
Um, it's a very powerful story that you know I, when you shared the story, the only part that I could really say that I could relate to was where you talked about the one who would only go to the grave with them, with him. And it brings me to the thought of sometimes we want to please people so badly, we want to do things for people so badly, even against our own um our own resolve or our own belief. And at the end of the day, you people please, and at the end of the day, you die, and the highest they can do for you is come to your grave. And
That's
that
also
story just
not forever, no? They cannot
not forever.
mourn and wait, like they cannot be in the grave and
Yeah,
yeah,
they
no?
can't be in the grave and wait for you to. It's just they just go there one day and they mourn, and life goes on.
Life
I
goes
was
on.
sharing with somebody. I said the most important thing is to know why you are here on earth and give your all to fulfill that, because when you when your the end of your days come, nothing else is going to matter. Nothing else is going to count. It's who you became, what you did in the time you were here on earth. So it's needed. And if meditation helps you achieve that, which is it does, it's a great thing to put into consideration. Now, brings me to the last question I asked. How do you know the destination? How do you know how far to go? How do you know how to pursue this journey of meditation?
Oh, Simon, each one has to seek within themselves and see. Is it to be out of stress? Or do you want to relax? Or do you want to be like positive or like come out of depression or anxiety? Or you just want to be happy? You want to be peaceful or calm or better
I seek
connection with God?
I seek enlightenment.
Yeah, sure, sure. That's also
I seek
possible.
I seek enlightenment.
Yeah. So each one has to decide. Some people want to go to deep concentration stages, or they want to meet Brahma, like that. So it depends on each person. So we cannot say like you should do this, but yeah, like at some point. But that's the best thing about spiritual friends. Spiritual friends, like when they get together, they can discuss about that, and then each one uplifts the other. Usually, like
mm,
religious and all these discussions, sometimes they might have conflicts or then disagreements and all this, no? But the spirituality or like this thing, what really happens is it unifies people. So each one should select, hey, like then from there their journey starts. At later they can change because it's an open path. They can just want, oh,
mm,
I want to be successful, I want to be positive, and then they might think, oh, I want to be happy. Most of all, I want to be peaceful, no? I want to have like some rest.
mm,
So likewise, all doors can open up, but they have to
mm,
start somewhere. So they have to see like, what do I really want? So I remember you telling something in the very beginning, Simon, like meditation is life. Huh? Meditation is life itself. So there was a nice discussion about AI and all, and this gentleman, he was from Germany, he was asking like, we had a discussion, and like he also was fearing, no, like he's a like computer technician and all these things, and so he was telling like the humans, the value of humanity will reduce and we won't be needed anymore. Huh? And so for the basic majority of us will be like then, but if we see, yeah, it looks very negative and all, and it is coming to, it is happening now already. Then what will happen is like if you see it in a good way, that came to a nice conclusion. Like we will, because we are like searching further and further and further and further away now. Huh? And we are
mm,
feeding these machines and all these things with the knowledge and all these things, data we have, seeking something more further in the future. But what happened was we lost ourselves uh, within that.
mm,
We- So at some point, when we feel lost and like sad or something like that, we will try to seek what we lost, or we'll try to seek who we are. Why are we here for? So these are ancient questions like many people are sorting out. Why am I really here? What is my purpose? Uh,
mm.
So then it in a way it can open up a channel because this is artificial intelligence, right? But we have human intelligence with us. This can open up the channel within rather than outwards to see internal. So we
Yeah.
will understand like meditation is life without this classification or like separation. Yeah, the usage and multiple usage of it. Uh, So each one has to decide or like think, what do I really need? It could be a simple thing. I want some peace of mind. I have anger issues. I want to reduce it. It could be
Yeah.
anything. That will be the starting point of any journey. But you can investigate, you can see, you can discuss, and the more it open, there's nothing hidden. Or
Yeah.
at least should not be. In some ancient ways, they used to whisper to the ear of the student. But that also the best student, and that also the teacher would keep a little bit and give the rest. But over the generations, that student would give his or her best student, right? And then some of it will reduce. And then eventually it will keep declining, no? Reducing. But the real traditions, they are fully open. Because this is like a super highway. It's already been there. It's in the past, present, in the future, so it will be there.
Mm,
And thousands have gone along that path. Even for enlightenment, eh? Even for enlightenment. So in a way, like with this all this chaos and all, people will seek these kind of things, these kind of things. And I think now we are heading to another pandemic, maybe. Like, yeah, it seems like, right? So
It seems like it.
then again, all that stress and all these things, and all these man-made disasters are like keeping people like out of their real human intellectuality or like wisdom, and these are used as a controlling factor, no? So then the only thing we can do, if we are bound by all these things, even we can keep the sanity and the wisdom and within. Nobody can steal that from anybody, no? AI or anything or authorize anything, like they cannot take that away, no, because it's not like some physical thing. And even if they try to feed many many things to the mind, but still if your mind is strong, uh, not that you try to have a conflict with all these things, but it cannot be
Yeah.
influenced. You can keep that intact, no, nobody can see it, nobody can take it. So I think uh, it is a good thing, like we have usage of a method to keep the human mind healthy or
Mm,
reach the goals or the destinations we all seek, each individual, even if it's enlightenment. Enlightenment is the best, actually, to be honest.
mm,
It's like the ticket,
yeah.
you got a ticket to the far uh, end of the
Yeah.
journey. And when that journey
That's it.
happens,
That.
you will be passing all the other positive things also, but you won't be stopping at
Mm,
a closer destination because you booked to take the tour or the how to say, the bus or the car to the destination itself, the most furthest destination, no?
thank you for that, Sanjay. So I am a person who have never heard about meditation, and I am very busy, and I want something I can do in 2 minutes or in 1 minute every day because I want to keep consistent.
5 minutes.
One practice. 5 minutes is the minimum.
If, yeah, no, we are dealing with 24 hours. 1 minute is like it will go like this, right? When you just try to sit
Okay,
properly, also it will just evaporate.
1 minute.
Yeah, no?
Okay, so 5 minutes. I want something I can do practically for 5 minutes.
Uh,
That every day I can keep it up. Sh- Can you guide us to that kind of practice? Just a 5 minutes practice
okay, so sit
for
down
someone who is
or lay
very
down
busy.
in the office or any place. Yeah, if you can have a break, or at home or any place you are, in the car or any place, you just sit as much as comfortably as possible. Let your body settle down. Take a few deep breaths, breathing in from the nostrils, breathing out. This is one method you can do even for even the whole few minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, even doesn't matter. You can have a huge relaxation out of stress, the breathing. And then try to relax your body from head to feet, like placing your attention from top of the head, forehead region, slowly coming down, head region, the neck region, shoulders, chest, abdomen, upper back, lower back, the arms, all the way to the fingertips, this behind region, the front region of the lower body, the legs, the upper part, knees, middle part, all the way right up to the toes. Try to relax. And you can use something like loving kindness. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Or you can use things like I'm safe. I'm secure. I'm grounded. like those things also. Or the ancient ways, may I be free from anger, may I be free from mental pain, may I be free from physical pain, may I live happily and peacefully. And then after that, focus on the breath. This also you can do the entire 5 minutes loving kindness. You can do entire 5 minutes or few minutes of body relaxations or the breath. And then focus on the breath. And let you can take some intentional breath from the nostrils, breathing in, breathing out. You can do like arising and passing, arising and passing, or breathing in energy, breathing in life, letting go of calm, letting go of peace. Okay, that's a few minutes like a meditation, which has many aspects in it. You can do walking meditation. You can just walk. People will think you are just walking around, but focus on your feet. That can burn away any kind of tension. Just in your mind, just think, may all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. And then bring that energy all the way. And we say, our eyes are like the windows of the soul. So bring it to the physical eyes and can slowly open your eyes and take this energy to the day or even a sleep or rest or within the work time. So you can use anything, breathing, body relaxation, loving kindness, or breath. You can do in all sequence or you can do one by one. 5 minutes of breathing, 5 minutes of body relaxation, 5 minutes of loving kindness, 5 minutes of breath, like that. Huh? Or you can use a few minutes of four to cover all four. Okay, like
So,
that.
so, so my question is, um, how consistently doing this will it help me get to the place of enlightenment, or
Yeah,
do I have to do more?
there's a stage of call like first stage, then there's intermediate stage, and then there's a deep stage. Okay, so there's a destination like so in a proper path. For example, in some path, there's called 7 stages of purification. It's like the first kilometer, the second kilometer. Say there are 7 kilometers until enlightenment. Okay, so we know where we are heading to. What is the journey? Where we are standing? How far is there's to go? Like that. So yeah, within the 5 minutes, if you had like very good, powerful thing from your past life, within a glimpse, you can just achieve. But we had practiced meditation, myself and you, everybody, nah? So it still hasn't happened, no? So it's like we had to grow the crops to get the harvest. If we had planted the crops in the previous life and if they were already like mature, uh, then we just have to get the harvest only, right? So now if we feel like maybe we are in the middle of it, like after the planting, and now we are protecting the harvest, or like or ready to waiting for it to mature. It could be different stages for different people. But some people who had done it already, they just took the harvest. In some traditions, it's like the lotus flower that comes from the water. It escapes the mud, it escapes the fish, and in the murky water, the shoot or the bud comes up. And some flowers are so high above the water, they just need the sunlight. Like that, some people with a few moments of meditation or some insight, they achieve enlightenment, like the flower blooms. But some flowers could be near the mud, some could be in the middle stages, something just above the below the waterline. So they need time to grow in a natural way. But commitment or dedication, effort, continuity should be there. Other that flower or the bud might die. The mud can take it, the fish can take it, the water can make it rotten. That's why it needs to come out of the all that also. Right? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, sure.